What's going on, guys? This is James Allen. I am recording this on Thursday, June 26, 2025. Yesterday, I released a video where I mentioned my suspicion that DFinity is drowning in features. And I saw some interesting comments come in about culture. And the remarks that were made were so grave that I felt like I should probably address this soon. So I'm going to go ahead and read one particular comment, but there were many others like it, similar to it. So here we go. This is coming from Thorazine0076. He says, memes need culture. Crypto that is irrelevant need culture. ICP is real utility. Real world use cases. This is 4 years into a 20-year roadmap. DFinity is constantly building, not in the direction some care about, but they will circle back to build where it's needed, in my opinion. Notice he says they're building in domains people don't care about. So even a true believer is showing doubt. But the remark he made about ICP not needing culture is what alarmed me. It truly sent alarm bells ringing in my head. And there were other comments similar to it where people said, hey, what does DFinity need to build culture for? What's the point of this? And I felt like this is very important and it's worth its own episode and a dedicated answer. And I hope the people making these comments are young, because if you're my age, if you're in your mid 30s, you should not be making comments like this. You should know better. But when I was younger, I totally didn't understand the value of cultures. I didn't respect the humanities, right? The art history, literature, philosophy. I didn't have a high respect for the humanities. As some of you guys know, I went to an Ivy League school, and the Ivy Leagues, no matter which one you go to, they force a core curriculum upon you. So even though you're a science major, you still have to take 2 years of philosophy, music, and many other things that I care not to remember. Literature was one of them. You have to take a foreign language, either pass out of a foreign language or take, I think, 3 years of foreign language. But the Ivy League have this idea that no matter what your major is, you need to be well balanced. And the way they ensure that is to stuff a bunch of humanities down your throat. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I was an undergrad student. I hated it. I was studying math and then neuroscience. I hated the humanities that was forced upon me. I had to take music at Columbia, guys. And the first day in class, the teacher's playing like piano notes and asking like, which note is that? And students are saying B flat, C minor, and I have no idea. I'm from the hood, guys, so I'm like, I totally felt out of class. I was really just like, it really raised my stress levels through the roof just thinking about it. But later, way later, as a grown man, I realized why the Ivy League stressed the humanities so much and why it's so important. So I'm going to try to at least share what I've understood from this experience with you guys, and perhaps this will help. So let's backtrack. Before I answer why culture is important, let's backtrack and ask ourselves, what is civilization? And one of my favorite authors, Carol Quigley, he wrote the book Tragedy and Hope. I also did a Secret People episode on him. The book Tragedy and Hope is a classic, by the way. I read the entire book, 1,500 pages. But in that book, he mentions that civilization is the intelligent management of human emotion. I'm going to go ahead and repeat again. According to Carol Quigley, civilization is the intelligent management of human emotions. And how is that intelligent management of emotions done? It's done through culture. So civilization is the intelligent management of human emotions through culture. You have to understand, emotions, when they're raw, are very dangerous and chaotic, right? I mean, you should know this. Humans are emotional beings. And when you don't check that emotion, humans can get extremely dangerous and chaotic. I mean, guys, I'm from the hood. I've seen people get shot over emotions. I'm not making this up. I've seen arguments lead to someone draw a pistol on someone, right? Because they couldn't control their emotions. Emotions are dangerous when they're not channeled and checked. And how do you do that? You do that through culture. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at art, for an example, art allows you to transform grief, suffering, pain into beauty, right? If you look at religion, for an example. Religion allows you to turn that fear of death, anxiety from a seemingly chaotic world into mythic order and stories, right? I could tell you right now, without my spirituality, a lot of the catastrophic things that has happened to me, I would have broke without my spirituality, without my religion, right? So religion allows you to turn fear into courage, to turn a seemingly chaotic world into order, right? Social rituals keeps your ego in check, right? Because as you hang out with people, you learn that for you to be liked, you have to balance your ego and let other people's egos breathe, right? And you know that's how you get that sense of belonging. This is so true. Culture is such a powerful toolkit for emotional management. This statement is so true that when people are uncultured, right? When people lack culture, they usually fumble social situations, right? The people who lack culture typically fumble social situations. This is why like old money avoid new money. New money typically are from poor backgrounds, such as myself, and they haven't been groomed culturally. So people like that are socially embarrassing. They turn simple social interactions into insecurity, power game, anger, violence, right? So people who are uncultured are often seen as brutish, right? Cold, just brutal, right? They seem more brutal. So culture is the intelligent management of human emotion. And the people who lack culture often fumble social situations. Trust me, I know. How I know is because I'm not trying to brag, but I've always been a ladies' man. And I've seen like the reason why I'm successful with women is because I'm nice. I mean, people always sell the myth that like, oh, bad boy, be an asshole. No, I don't think that works. I think the guys who try that get obliterated. Now, let's go back to blockchain. Why is culture particularly important even in a blockchain world? And why DFinity doesn't have a choice? DFinity doesn't have a choice whether it wants to build culture or not. It has to. And I'll tell you why. Because of the decentralized nature of blockchain is decentralized infrastructure, that makes you inherit the problem of culture by default, right? Because you're dealing with sovereign people, right? What is blockchain about? It's a decentralized infrastructure where every user, every player is sovereign. So that means you're dealing with people as individuals. How do you control these people? How do you manage their emotions so that it's not explosive? Or you could coordinate them into a synchronized effort. You have to do that through culture. Again, culture is the toolkit to manage human emotion. And Web3, by its very nature, being decentralized and having sovereign player, makes it inherit the problem of culture by default. Now, before I go, I'd like to share one thing because, you guys know I'm a bit of a war historian. During World War II, when the British was really ramping up to fight the Nazis, one of the people in the cabinet asked Winston Churchill to cut the budget of the arts so that more funding can be channeled towards the war effort. And Winston Churchill answered, "Then what are we fighting for then?" Like if we cut the arts, what the hell are we fighting for then? And this is an important point. That is culture, what people call the humanities, history, literature, writing, storytelling, poetry, painting. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us human. If everything is about money, if everything is about power, you've lost your soul. You've lost your humanity. So in my humble opinion, DFinity does need to build culture. It's not an option. Whether they choose to listen to me or not, it frankly doesn't matter. At this point, my success, my future success is not tied to DFinity. Whether they reach out to me and allow me to help them bridge that cultural gap or not, doesn't really matter. I've extended my arm. Whether they choose to take it or not is up to them. And I've also warned the community that without culture, this ecosystem will fail. I've done my part. What happens is really up to God. In any case, my misfits, that's all I have for you in this episode. You know what to do. Don't forget to press that like button and support me on Patreon. I will see you next time.